on this episode of Potages.
Wait, Ash, how is being crushed by poop? How is that Freudian? Like,
not that part isn't.
Okay, I was like, is it sexual poop?
We have different tastes in canines. It's fine.
Do you think that Kudamon, the little like scarf on
I know
Samson,
what Kudamon is.
Do you think Kudamon is Marcus's dad?
No.
I need your password. You can use mine to get on the internet.
Potages.
Welcome to Potages, episode 503, Treading Through Merukimon Waters.
Digimon Data Squad, Merukimon Arc Part 1.
Recorded November 5th, 2017.
Potages is your critically nostalgic analytical tour through the Digimon anime. I'm Jeff Ruberg, and I'm joined by our wild child who hates grammar and always insists that humans are terrible, Ashley McDonald.
Me hates humans. Jeff hates.
Our mysterious old man who always appears with random bits of wisdom, Asher Softman.
I just wanted a fish.
And our DATS agent, infected by the Digivirus, Andrew Softman.
Do everything for me, and I will infect you through touch.
This week, I'm in the middle of scrolling, so I didn't know what to say. I was trying to because it was a little bit weird how, why did Keenan get infected through Yoshino? Were they doing some inappropriate touching that was off screen? Anyway, Scrolling past that idea of a 19-year-old and a 10-year-old. Anyway, this week, we're looking at the first half of the Merukimon arc with episodes 12 through 18, so here's a quick recap.
In episode 12, the Digi-Egg that fell to Earth, aka the egg, it's already hatched! Kristy imports a Digi-Egg from the digital world and insists that she can be the 8th Digidestined, but Marcus insists she's too young for Data Squad's older target demographic. Kristy gets a DNA test showing that she and Biyomon are Digidestined for each other, but Captain Falcon appears to take Biyomon back to Season 1.
In episode 13, the Rise Greymon, aka Early to Bed and Early to Rise Greymon, Merukimon defeats Biyomon and takes him back to the digital world, which really upsets Marcus, even though it's exactly what he was trying to do. Sora's Digimon comes back as Yolee's Digimon, but Marcus punches him back into Sora's Digivolution line. Marcus yells until Swole Greymon digivolves into Swole Metal Greymon.
In episode 14, the wild boy of the digital world, aka Cherry Pecking, Marcus's part-time job dad reveals the truth about Marcus's actual dad going out for a pack of Digi cigarettes 10 years ago. The team lands into the digital world, discovers how moody Keenan is without Kel, and save a bunch of Noki.
In episode 15, The Gorge of Deception, aka, because I've been reading comments since by Thomas Manpains, the team gets trapped in a prototype for Inception, and Metal Phantomon sends them into dreams one layer deeper. Marcus gets trapped in a joke, Yoshino gets trapped in foreshadowing, and Thomas gets trapped in a Fridging 101 example, but Manpains so hard that he breaks free and unlocks Gillette Fusion Gagomon.
In episode 16, Falcomon, Friend or Foe, aka the Falcomon cannot hear the Falcomoner, Yoshino and Keenan come down with the not Takuya or Koji virus. So Neo Takuya and Neo Koji team up with Keenan's bird to inject them with an unlabeled needle from a random fridge in an upside-down mansion. Seems legit.
In episode 17, Yoshi's biggest battle, the one with herself, aka Yoshi's story, Yoshino wakes up from her side character syndrome, and the team resumes their trek to Infinity Ice Mountain. Yoshi gets trapped in an episode of Your Lie in April, but is pulled out by Lalamon cashing in on Jigglypuff nostalgia.
In episode 18, the clash with Merukimon, aka We're Creepy and We're Kooky, Mysterious Meruki, We're All Together Kooky, the Data Squad family. Marcus's imaginary friend becomes a real character. Keenan learns about racism when Gatsumon lumps him with the humans, and Old Man Digivice tries to negotiate with Merukimon, but Marcus punches everyone back into a race war.
So TLDR, this arc is all about Biyomon appearing, then setting up to go to the digital world. They go to the digital world. That's what this arc is, the trek to find and take down Merukimon, which makes no sense. But anyway, they clash with Keenan a lot. They unlock their ultimates, and then they eventually reach Merukimon's castle, lose to him, and get sent home. What do we all think about this arc? Ashley, start with you. What's your one-word reaction?
Likable. Getting into it somehow. Now, I mean, Yoshi still sucks. But oh well.
It's still not. Really
I like
Yoshi's
Meruki.
story.
I like Merukimon. That's basically what I've learned.
Asher, what's your one word?
Okay. It was okay.
It was better than what came before it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think this is around where I started tapering off in my original watch of the series. Like, I remember all the events up to the last... I guess I got a few episodes past this, but I remember being, as a younger person, not that impressed with Thomas's story. And watching it again, I was like, okay, this is like... I was being a little unfair. The ending is still abrupt, but I could work with this, you know? Do you know? And Yoshi's story was, I want to think about that one some more.
It reminds me of me.
Yeah, right.
Okay, wait. Watching Yoshi's story, I was like, this pain is too real, but also I'm really sick of this story, so like, please stop.
Yeah, I definitely, like, after watching it, I was like thinking about it in the abstract. I'm like, this is a scenario that seems compelling. I did not feel anything from actually watching it, though.
Yeah, because this show is not great at storytelling remotely. But yeah, like the things that were sort of like fun to watch and think about were sort of offset by my still being completely annoyed with Marcus.
That fool starting to grow on me. I guess what bothered me about Yoshi's story is that, like, I'm like, this is a perfectly fine backstory, but now this happened so long. Like, she's so much older than Marcus and Thomas relative to how long they've all been alive, right? Like 5 years when you're only 19 is the max age, is like a lot of years. So it just annoys me that, like, she's seemingly grown the least and, like, hasn't gained any confidence through this. And I'm just like, ugh, this is fine to have felt when she was, like, 7 or whatever. But, like, I wish this had gone better for her throughout the rest of her life or whatever.
I don't trust that the show will show her being any more competent after this.
Right.
Like, she will be side, so whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the points that, like, she's not going to get any better in terms of being competent at all. But I also am like, maybe some way you can reason around the, like, why this comes up for her now, even though she's so much older, is that, like, maybe she hasn't been in a situation where she's been behind since then. Like, that, like, because she was before Marcus and Thomas came in, they kept citing her supposedly as being one of the top agents. And so maybe this is a new scenario that she's in again so it, like, conjures up those images of her youth. But the impression it leaves makes her seem immature and stuff. So yeah, I think there's a plausible explanation, but it also it's a bad taste.
I don't know. I act like that after I'm sick like that too.
Yeah, I guess it was tied into her sickness. But before we go too off track, Andrew, what's your one word reaction?
I'm sick. So it really messed up with me.
Were you sick when you watched the episode about being sick?
Yes, actually. And then a bunch of other anime I watched had episodes where they were sick. And it makes me worse.
Okay, so it's not really an evaluation of the series or the show, just your emotional state.
It just makes it harder to watch things. And I watched like 7 of these episodes yesterday because I've been sick the last few days. It really got hard after a while.
So you have no word?
I think his word was sick. I assume that's what you meant, right?
Yes, this episode is brought to you by the word sick.
My one word reaction is solid.
Nobody asked you, Jeffrey. Nobody asked you.
Jeffrey? What? I don't know what voice I was imitating there. I'm going to kill that word.
Human. What word?
So my reaction is solid. And I think it's like pretty similar in the lines of Asher's, in the sense that, like, yeah, it's like okay, but not like overwhelmed, but just like I don't know. I don't want to praise it too much, because like then I look back at the characters and I'm like, there were no like characters I loved anywhere near as much as other seasons. Not all seasons, but like thinking back to like how much I would love Terriermon or Henry or Takato or Gilmon or Rika or Ren, all 6 of those characters. Like I feel like
those are all from one season,
right? But I'm saying, like, for that one season, there are so many to pull from, and that's true of like there are not that many, but there are at least 1 or 2 that would pull me any season. And I feel like this is like, but I feel like somehow I still liked the overall experience a little bit better somehow of watching this arc. And I think it's kind of just like it had like a surprisingly decent amount of world building and like plot progression and mysteries, which all made it just kind of feel more solid. in a way that like in aspects that Digimon doesn't normally tackle. Like Digimon doesn't normally do world building or plot progression very well. Normally plot progression is just another big baddie and another big bad, and like we defeat that one and there's another big bad, and that's kind of it. There's not like really multi-layered events happening that are unfolding, and when there's a past to be revealed, it's very simple and like not actually tied into the present very well, and this felt like it engaged in those runs a lot better. Yeah, like I kind of realized it's like kind of like going from watching Try on an animation front, going from watching Try to watching any other anime and being like, oh, I forgot what like solid animation felt like and solid direction felt like. Like you just like there are lots of little details that like, oh right, you need to like have this cut to establish where you're looking, and so all these little details. It's hard to really articulate why. It just feels like Try is like, what are you doing with the camera? Figurative camera. That's kind of what it felt like on a plot level. Like I can't point out any one thing that's like this is more solid, but it's overall feels like it's just more engaging on the plot angle.
I think this season benefits from having us only recently watched Frontier, X Evolution, and Try. Let me tell you. I think it doesn't have to work very hard to be like, yeah, you're better than any of those. So A+. Like,
yeah. Oh boy, but the whole like, even though I like the plot progression and world building and everything of that was explored in this arc, like the whole premise of this arc is so stupid. Like everything about the mission to go to the digital world to take down Merukimon is so ill-advised on every front. Like, I assume like they can only Digivolve a champion, and they get introduced to the first Mega level Digimon, like the earliest Digimon season that's introduced a Mega level Digimon.
Excuse me, Marcus can Digivolve into Ultimate at this point by the time they go to the digital world.
Okay, I guess that's true. Yeah, that's technically true. Yeah, sure.
Just fact checking.
But like there's no way that they have the tools to quote unquote take him down, and then especially with the stuff that's revealed towards the end of the arc that like with all this baggage from the past, they shouldn't be trying to take him down. like there was like a peace tree and everything. They shouldn't, the DATs, like the data or whatever, the DATs should not have sent this. They should not have sent anyone to take down Merukimon. They should not have sent people who didn't know about any of this baggage. Like, it's so ill-advised. And I think the dub writers even like forgot that, like why they were there at various points. I'm not sure if this is like in the original, but like in episode 17, Yoshi says, "There's no way we'll get out of here without a fight." I'm like, you came here for the fight. That's why you're here.
Yeah, the dub tends to be weird in terms of writing.
Yeah, I think there are little details like that should not be little details, but probably as a consequence of things being passed around. I actually don't know. I haven't compared a list of who is credited with writing on these episodes or the season in general to know if it was split between multiple writers, but in past seasons that was definitely the case, that things could have been lost in passing in between them and stuff and not remembering the continuity of where they were at each episode. But like I was saying before, it's the earliest we've been introduced to a Mega. I wrote out the first appearances in Adventure. Venomon appeared in episode 38 in 02. 02 is weird because like Chimeramon, I think, is sometimes classified as Mega, maybe?
No, it's just a very powerful Ultimate.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I was thinking that. Maybe because like Magnamon is sometimes classified as a Mega. Magnamon Shiny? Whatever he's called, the Royal Knight variant. Yeah, Chimeramon's just an Ultimate. But yeah, and Tamers. So 02, the first appearance of Blackwell Greymon is episode 30. Tamers, Beelzemon. The first time they fight Beelzemon is episode 30. Frontier is weird because I guess they've had Trubimon there in the background the whole time, but they don't actually like engage him in episode 33. And this time Merukimon appears in episode 13. So it's very early on. I think it's a good way to like break the precedent of the past and throw your expectations for a loop. Did anyone feel anything about that?
No, Merukimon's the best though. He's like, his villain motivations like make sense. I'm like, wow, Digimon stepping it up.
I just like him because he has the same voice as Myotismon.
You mean he's not Myotismon?
Excuse me, he's Marcus's dad. He's Marcus's dad.
He's first of all, he's a wolf. He can't be a
He's
vampire.
Marcus's
He can't
dad.
do that.
Wait,
He's a human person under that.
He definitely looks like a dude underneath his mask. Like,
Yeah, he does.
Because he's Marcus's dad.
I'm planning to make a post.
He's
on social
too
media.
tall to be Marcus's dad.
Oh, guys.
But I'm planning to make a post on social media by the time this episode comes out, I guess, that like compares the fact that like the first, like around this time in Adventure, they're facing a guy in a monkey suit, and this time in Data Squad, they're facing a guy in a big guy at least, but in a some kind of furry suit.
But he's so much better than the monkey suit one. So.
on some levels.
Levels,
So we
okay.
got this arc we got a bunch of, first of all we got a totally new character, Digivice wielding character in Keenan, and we also got a bunch of character development for the other characters. I wanted to,
For a second, I thought you were going to say the old man.
yeah, I guess he technically got a Digivice, got shown it, but anyway, so starting, I want to check in with all the different characters and see how they develop. So Keenan, Ashley, do you want to talk about Keenan? Who is Keenan? What do we learn about him?
Keenan talk like this. Hate humans. Thinks Frigimon was mommy. Mommy killed by humans,
Oh God,
therefore.
I'm gonna cut you off before you keep wearing the stick. Do we like Keenan at this point? Does
I
anyone?
like Keenan. He's fine.
My notes just say Falcomon greater than Keenan.
No.
What?
What? Wait, I agree with Jeff.
No.
But then
Falcomon
again,
is like a reject from a 70s band. Pekmon
Yeah.
especially.
Oh yeah, Pekmon's not too great.
no,
I just
Pekmon's-
don't understand why they gave Falcomon that accent.
Yeah, that's a little. I mean, it also ties into the bigger question of like. So, I mean, if you haven't seen these episodes recently and didn't get why Ashley was speaking weirdly, Keenan has a speech affect. Then that since he grew up in the digital world, he does not use proper grammar, which makes no sense. When
It makes no sense.
his partner speaks in a like. I don't know how you. Like, I guess it's just like a British accent.
He's basically Hawkmon 2.0 for some apparent reason.
I guess his birds are British in dubbing eyes.
Birdish. They're birdish.
But yeah, especially from the perspective of Americans, we have a kind of I don't know if you call it like kind of not racist, but like we have a stereotype of British voices sounding very sophisticated. So to pair that with Keenan, it's like there's no reason that you would have not learned how to speak English. Like all Digimon speak English fine. Or I mean,
Yeah,
speak
like all the
language fine.
Digimon around him speak like we interpret them to speak perfectly normal English. And it's just like, why would you not? Keenan should have learned from you. This makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, maybe because they're digital creatures, you could maybe hand wave it away that say like they're just born with language processing functionality, and so they don't have to learn it, quote unquote. So like maybe they're not like there's not enough socializing in that atmosphere to actually learn a language well. And since Keenan actually would have to learn it and not be born with it, maybe. But that it's a stretch. It's a huge stretch, and it's a lot of
Actually, I can see this could easily be interpreted as Keenan is inferior, so they don't even bother to teach him English, like proper English.
It doesn't require being taught. You just
Yeah, like
it does.
babies just learn.
Also,
like,
he was. I think he. Oh wait, no. Yeah, he was baby. Never mind. I was gonna say I thought he was 4 but never mind. I don't. He wasn't 4. That's wrong. Also, yeah, they keep saying 10 years ago, and he's supposed to be 10 years old. So
Yeah.
But yeah, they could easily just ignore Keenan because he's not a Digimon.
yeah, but that's not how language learning works for kids. They just absorb it without like. I mean, yeah, if he was left in a corner and no one spoke any language around him, yeah. But like as long as you're around language, you pick it up.
No, but when you think about it, like the only ones who really want to interact with Keenan are Frigimon and Falcomon, but they could easily not be good teachers. But
No, but Andrew, we're telling you
Like-
it require being a good teacher. Like people, like kids don't grow up not being able to speak English or whatever language because they don't have good teachers or parents. Like it's a
no,
babies have-
it's entirely possible.
I entirely disagree.
very-
with that.
it's very not
Like,
true. If
4-year-olds
he was
can
if he was
speak in
somehow
basic English.
wait, if he was somehow shunned and no one ever talked to him, and if Falcomon and Frigimon ever talked to him, maybe. But yeah, that is yeah.
No, but
Unless he
they're,
has
like-
a learning disability, which
Yes,
would go
that's what I'm
undetected.
trying to say.
Well, you have to say that he has a learning
Yeah, that's
disability.
a big.
But it's not. It could be interpreted as a learning disability, but it's not a learning disability because there's so many different factors.
So I would be like, it has to be a learning disability.
But it's also neglect.
I don't think that he was neglected.
I mean,
Everything that has been shown to me was that up until he was 4, he had Frigimon. After that, he's always had Falcomon. Merukimon seems to care about him, at least in some way. Keenan is very hurt by Gatumon's betrayal. Like, why are you hurting me? Like,
I mean, learning disabilities manifest in lots of different ways. I don't think we have evidence to diagnose or not. And even though we see that he had some kind of nurturing environment, I think we're going to find out more about his environment early on later. And it is different from learning environments in the real non-fictional world. So I do acknowledge the point that like it is different. So we can't totally apply what we understand of like people who are kids who are in American schools to the situation of this Japanese kid stranded in the wilderness with Digimon, like presumably around a bunch of baby Digimon who don't talk all day. I mean, but I think by and large, we might mainly see him around lots of Digimon who talk. And I don't think what the show is getting at is that he's a learning disability. I think it'd be one thing if it like were speaking that language and mentioning those things. And I mean, there's more to learn about Keenan. So like very possible that those things point in that direction more. But I think at this point it is more, I don't know, I guess it works as a headcanon to make sense of inconsistencies. But I think by and large it's just an inconsistency.
It's just a really weird one.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like the kind of thing that makes sense if you don't think about it at all. It's like, oh yes, Tarzan. Like that's it.
Tarzan, Keenan of the Apes.
Yeah. So moving on to Marcus. Marcus didn't really get like tons of backstory, but we did get some.
It's not as hot-headed now, I guess.
He also did not say it's fighting time that much. I've been trying to make soundboard clips every time he says it's fighting time, and I only got him saying it 3 times in this arc. 4 times. No, 2 times. And one of them was once Agumon said it, and once Rise Greymon said it. I just got
It's
fighting
time! Fighting time!
That's all I got.
He only says it twice.
Fighting time! Fighting time!
There's Agumon go. Yeah.
Wait, what was the second one?
The second one was Rise Greymon.
Oh.
But yeah, I really so like when they have all their dream flashbacks with Metal Phantomon, Marcus's biggest fear is that Kristy will be taken away, or that she'll be in trouble, and
he can't save her.
No, yeah. The important part I think is he can't save her.
Okay, sure. And still, just my point is like I'm finding his how much he cares about Kristy troubling, and
How is that troubling?
the whole like I don't know.
It's his younger sister.
Yeah, I think he's just too concerned with protecting his younger sister.
Well, I mean, he would protect anyone from his family.
No, I agree. It's creepy.
It's troubling because it's like it's just the level of concern he has, like the amount that it's on his mind for that to be his biggest fear or whatever is what seems off to me. That like he's not it's to some degree he's not letting herself be her own person or himself be his own person. That he's so wrapped up. That's part of his identity is how much he can protect her if she's in danger. And I get she's young at this point, but she's not that young. I don't know. I think Ash in the past, you've mentioned something similar, that you were kind of not comfortable with his protectiveness.
Yeah. I mean, he's also just very, I don't know. I have my own like take on his dream, but it's definitely me reading too much into it. They did not think about this very deeply.
What's your take?
Is that, so this is like their worst fears, right? So like, yeah, sure, he can't save her, but also like the fact that he's fighting Numamon and they keep multiplying. I think there's like an embedded awareness that his violence only breeds more violence, and he can't like deal with the smashing of that worldview. So it is his own punchiness that keeps him from being a good brother. But they definitely were not actually going for that.
I don't know. I actually had a similar interpretation. Like, I feel like, yeah, we all predicted that the thing that he would most fear was like not being able to protect Kristy. But I feel like that is the least important part of the dream. Like, it's definitely more about he can't protect her, and like the things that he normally does to protect her are the things that are like preventing him from doing so in that dream, at least.
Yeah,
so but his biggest fear is for punching not to work.
Yes, I agree with that. I think they did not actually like mean to make it quite so like incredibly Freudian and symbolic, but like
maybe
literally crushed by like multiplying shit, man. It's eating shit. Anyway,
it's great. It's a great metaphor.
Great. It's great, and I don't think it was intentional, but it's great that it's there.
Wait, Ash, how is being crushed by poop? How is that Freudian? Like,
it's not. That part isn't.
Okay, I was like, is it sexual poop? Is it like?
Because it's sexual poop.
It's been a long time since I read a psych book anyway, also.
I guess technically like any of this kind of dream analysis is Freudian style dream analysis, right? So it doesn't totally imply
It
sexual.
would be even more Freudian if his mother was there too.
Yeah.
She was.
Rise Greymon's pretty cool. We're talking about Marcus still, and I think his evolution, Rise Greymon, is pretty cool.
Okay.
He's becoming more and more like a mobile suit with every evolution.
I think of it more as just. I mean, I think it kind of diverges once we get to Shine Greymon, but at this point, it's like let's do Metal Greymon again. Let's do Metal Greymon with modern sensibilities. I also thought. I mean, I think it's only really hit me during Marcus's initial evolution sequence. But the dub, the music and everything they used for that, I was actually pretty hyped. And then I went back and watched that in the Japanese version. And I think it actually works a lot better in the dub because they use new music that wasn't used in the Champion Evolutions. And in Japanese, they use Believer throughout. And I mean, like it's same as the Champion Evolutions. I like Believer. It'll be like, I think we'll probably use it as transition music for this season and stuff. And I love it. And I really, really like the song, but I don't
Believe it.
No, it's not that kind of Believer. But I don't know. By the silence, I can tell no one else cared. Thomas.
No, I like the music.
Oh, okay.
Generally, overall in the season, I'm like, yeah, I feel things when this music happens.
I think it's the Champion music because I didn't really notice it so much in this arc. But I noticed it. I think in the last arc where I was saying the Champion music had an awkward trail off. Like it would play and be dramatic, and then it would kind of fade off in the middle of the battle, and I'd be like, "But they're still going. What's going on?" No one else noticed that.
I think the music I notice is more the other insert high tension, sad-ish music is good.
This is the only season whose soundtrack I have a strong attachment to this season's Japanese soundtrack because back when I found
you watched it first.
No, not because of watching it, but after I watched it, I downloaded a rip or whatever of the whole soundtrack and would listen to it a lot. So
Bad Human.
Whatever. It was a long time ago, but so I have a strong attachment to random songs that were probably played only once or twice, but I'm like, oh, that's that song. And then I hate some of the songs that there are lots of goofy it's a gag moment kind of songs that are frustrating me because whenever they come up on the CD, I'd be like, skip. Anyway, Thomas, his flashback episode.
Mm-hmm.
What about it?
Asher.
Yes.
If I had to, I would guess you like Thomas the most out of all of us, maybe?
All of you, I think, probably.
So what did you think of Thomas's flashback episode?
I mean, I mentioned this before, but I did think originally when I first saw this that episode was disappointing. Now I'm actually a little more sympathetic towards it. Although, oh my God, the way they just end it is terrible and garbage.
Ending him snapping out of the dream or with the ghost or what?
Without explaining it. I myself can come up with lots of ways to explain it. Okay, Thomas has been living with this grief for how old
10
is he?
years.
13? I don't
14.
think he was. Okay, fine. Maybe 10 years. Maybe he knows how to break himself out of it. But having no explanation for that, just oh, Thomas is so cool, is such app. I liked Thomas through these episodes. I appreciated that he got hurt again.
I'm really concerned with the bondage in that episode. Wow, what are they called? Dokugumon are really good at rope tying.
I have no comments on that.
We have no official
I'm
stance
really
on
concerned.
They're all dead, so it doesn't matter.
I find it interesting that Jeff and Asher both interpreted that Thomas somehow got himself out of the dream, because my interpretation of that was actually different in that I was like, oh, his mom's spirit is protecting him in some way.
Again.
You don't need to worry about this. I've come and interfered and broken the dream.
Actually, I think your problem is that you read CCS too recently.
What?
No.
Is that a thing?
Yes.
I don't remember this.
Sakura's mom's told doesn't she interact with it and Toya? No, that was the card that took the.
Yeah, but no, mom is also there.
Yeah, Sakura's mom's also there, watching. Toya can see Sakura's mom, which is part of the pain point of him giving up his powers. Is he's whatever. Yuki's you won't be able to see your mom anymore, and he's it's okay. It was unfair that I was the only one who could see her anyway. And it's sad.
That's why Toya. He's the best.
Toya is the best.
You know what I just realized is a pretty big flaw in CCS? That Sharon had a crush on Yukito, but not Toya.
Because
they
hated each other.
Incompatible magic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was
So they
the moon.
hated
It was
each
specifically
other.
the moon thing.
Oh, yeah, it was the moon thing. Okay.
It was the moon thing, bro.
It was
Come on.
it was a quote unquote moon thing. Okay.
That's what it was.
That's what it was. I just don't understand.
Quote unquote moon thing. Okay.
I thought Ashley's point was good. Like, I completely forgot about that moment, actually. I guess I interpreted that not as something that was external to Thomas. It was like his love for his recognition of his mother's love inside of him.
Yeah, I kind of just assumed it was like his own vision of her in his mind. So
I guess the way that he talked to her, though, like implied that he was some sort of external thing to me.
Yeah, but it could easily be his memory of her. It doesn't necessarily have to be her herself.
Also, the way that he broke out of it before that moment happened, I thought.
Oh, it was like when he was crossing over back into reality?
He got out of the dream, but I thought that was supposed to imply, like, okay, now he could have just given up his life force. Like, I don't think the bond thing was broken until you see that whole sequence, and then it shows that he's broken out of the bondage part of it.
I see. I would have to watch the episode again.
This was just how I interpreted it. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying I think both things could apply.
Oh my God, you guys.
Jeff.
Oh my God. So I wrote in my notes, any parallel between Thomas and Keenan both losing a mom. And oh my God, I said that Thomas, like in the recap, I said that Thomas losing a mom was like a fridging 101 example. Keenan's mom is Frigimon and is fridged. Oh my God.
OMG.
All right, that was worth interrupting us for. Thank you, Jeff.
It's literally Frigimon.
But it's Yuki Darumon in the Japanese version, so it only works in the English dub.
There is no Japanese version. The dub is the only thing that exists.
Okay.
We have killed it.
You mean we fridged it?
No. What about Makagamon? He's pretty cool.
I like him.
He's kind of like
He's my favorite out of this arc.
I mean, he's no Merukimon, but he's fine.
I mean, he's kind of like a Neo Weregurumon.
Yeah, we have different tastes in canines. It's fine. It's fine.
That sounds like you have like different tastes in like what kind of canine meat you like eating.
What?
With that,
Anyway.
but it sounded like different tastes in furries. But whatever.
Yeah, I thought we were going with furries there, but
Yoshino.
Yoshino.
I am Yoshino.
I mean, okay, so I was immediately frustrated that she was the only one who got sick when it's like real at the end of the episode. I was a little bit relieved by the fact that Keenan, I hesitated almost at Ikuto, that Keenan also gets sick.
Well, that's his own damn fault.
But at least it's not it's not fully gendered in that respect. But the fact that like she gets sick before him, remains sick after him, and then carries the next episode, I don't know. It does feel like a bit of a gendered thing on that front, and the fact that her flashback episode being about her suffering and needing to be pulled out of it by external forces because of all his emotional weight, whereas Thomas pulls himself out, or by a spear or whatever. I guess the reading of that becomes a lot less gendered if you think of Thomas being pulled out by an external force, but with the reading that it's his own.
Well, I still think there's a gender part of that in that, like, it's his mom sort of thing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
But I mean, the gender aspect that I find frustrating is that it's like women are much more vulnerable and need help getting out of these situations, whereas men just are self-reliant and don't need help. And
even with Keenan, like now we've got the women and children idea.
She's the oldest, and
great. Yeah. I'm so excited.
They all have mom problems.
It makes me increasingly frustrated. I don't think I should write down the specific instance of this, but like, I can't remember what it was. Oh, I think it's at some point after Yoshi's recovered and she starts to like lead them and they tell them what to do. And Marcus says something like, "Who made you the leader?" And I'm like, she is 4 years you're elder. Like, especially in Japan, maybe that line was just a dub thing, and maybe he's a lot less disrespectful to her in Japanese. But I don't think he's still somewhat disrespectful to her, at least maybe as disrespectful. And like in Japanese culture, to be that disrespectful to someone who's 4 years your elder, like, oh my, like, sure, Marcus is like disrespectful, or Masaru is disrespectful in Japanese too. But like he, like, as soon as Toma appears, he's insistent that Toma treat him like a senpai, and to treat his actual senpai like to treat Yoshino, his actual senpai, of 4 years. Like, in so much anime, we see people who are like 1 year apart who treat their senpai as so much higher than them. So to treat someone who's 4 years older than them, like out of school, and like so many levels so much higher than them, as like, who put you in charge, toots? Like,
Marcus, he's great. JK, he sucks.
Yeah, I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle of like, I like Marcus in a lot of ways. I also find him like super frustrating in a lot of ways, and it's like tug of war.
I mean, my problem with these episodes is that I'm like, okay, individually, fine, they're perfectly competent, but like, I'm very sick of Digimon, and it's people get hurt massively by trucks, the same truck. They're all the same truck. I'm just going to assume that.
Can you point out some other instances? Because you mentioned, we talked this offline, and I was like, what trucks? I don't know what you're talking about.
There's some point earlier in this season where Marcus saves a little girl who's crossing the street who is about to get hit by a truck. It's the same thing. In Frontier, Takuya also has similar experience, and you experience it multiple times because you go to that flashback multiple times.
Well, you go back to it once, so twice.
I'm pretty sure it comes up at least 3 times throughout the season. I just feel like Digimon's like, the only way I can have mortal danger is by car crashes, which is why a lot of, like, they're with the Lekmon, there's the horrible car crashes that then they try to walk back and be like, nobody was seriously injured. I'm like, no. Okay.
It's a little weird, though, that, like, because there are ways to have car crashes present mortal danger that are not a person walking along the street and a truck coming at, like, you can be in a car.
They're not good at that. That's what I'm saying. I'm sick of this story. I'm sick of all the girls' pain being like, I'm not as good as everybody else, therefore I'm sad and need them to reassure me that I'm as good as them, or like have some other trait that makes me good. And I'm just like, I'm so sick, Digimon, please come up with a new story. Stop.
Yeah. In my notes, I wrote down that this dichotomy between Thomas and Yoshino in these episodes, in their respective centric episodes, was like the textbook example of the dichotomy between man pain and girl suffering. That like man pain is about like, oh, the guy is so cool for suffering, like he's so emo, and then he like more powerful for it. And when girls suffer, it's like they suffer because they're weak, and it is a reflection of their weakness, and
they are inferior.
Yeah, even when they don't intend to make them inferior, there's so many ways that ekes through.
Well, the thing is, Yoshino makes herself inferior to her own sisters.
I don't think she makes. Herself inferior. I think they had more talent.
Because she doesn't. Because she's not as good as them, and I can relate to that because someone here is basically what I had to go through.
Sorry.
Wow. Ash, get out.
You don't know what it's like, Ash.
I do. I was there.
I know, I'm joking.
But no, like this is a very real thing. Like, you got so much more confident after I left home. It was great.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, as soon as I went to college, you just like you had your own life. It was great.
I bloomed into a beautiful flower.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess actually you don't know what a sibling is.
What? No. Time out. Pause here.
Yeah, pause. Resume.
Again, I really thought Yoshino's pain is actually relatable. I'm just really sick of having to hear this story over and over and over. I'm like, girls have other stories. Like, there are girls who have other freaking stories, okay?
I'm just really concerned about the mom because she, like, kind of forces her into this. Like, she never even considers how Yoshino is feeling.
I actually don't really remember too much of the mom. I mean,
she's like egging her on that you can do this and just do it.
That was the teacher.
That was her mom.
I also feel like what little glimpse we got of it, judging by the fact that I don't remember it at all, could have been like a minor sliver of like her, egging her on or encouraging her this one moment. And unless we see that as like her being like, you must play piano, like your sisters do it, you must do it too. Like unless we see something like that, I would feel like it's.
I mean, it's not like strict or anything. It's just like even like she's being nice about it, but even then it's just like you're still forcing her.
I was okay with that level.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a little bit quick to judge from.
I think it's.
I know it's
like Yoshino. Like we're not shown Yoshino being like, I definitely don't want to do this. So it's just kind of hard to judge that. But also, my frustration was that after Yoshino, after Lalamon digivolved to Ultimate, Marcus was like, wow, she was actually better than I thought she would be. And I'm like, oh my God, did you learn nothing from this story? I hate you.
and he says that in regards to like an Ultimate taking down an Ultimate, which is like what every other Ultimate has been able to do. Like it's so like basic competency is like surprising to him. After he was the one who had somehow an encyclopedic knowledge of this new Digimon form that, I mean, I guess he could have been in some kind of catalog. And I find it weird that he keeps being the one to read the analyzer.
Well, he carries it around.
Oh, is he actually reading a thing? I forgot.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense then.
I mean, they don't usually show it, but Thomas carries around this little computer.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I do recall.
Which they did release it as a toy back in the day.
I think there are other areas.
kind of like the D terminal.
Yeah, makes sense. I think there are other areas where this episode just like her evolution feels abrupt, and like almost all of the girl-centric episodes of Digimon, like it feels not as compelling, and like it feels like not so much an afterthought, but like a not as well constructed episode, probably because there was less effort put into it and stuff, and it's like always getting the short end of the stick. Yeah.
I just feel like if Digimon didn't take those little cuts all the time, but like having Marcus say those lines and stuff, I'm like, you could get away with this. You could get away with it and have it be fine. But like, you always want to go to the immediately wrong place, so it's never fine.
Yeah. I think I was listening to episode like 2 of our podcast, and I made some. I remember writing this down at some point. It was a while ago, but I made some claim that I was like, I don't think Digimon ever has like women who need to be saved by men. And I'm like, oh my God, Jeff, what were you saying?
Was Jeff high?
Jeff was naive and optimistic. Lilamon.
It's too close to Lalamon. Kill Digimon.
What? Kill Digimon? What?
That Lilamon is too close to Lalamon, so kill Digimon.
In design, it's too close to Lilymon.
Wait, Ashley, I'm confused. Why are you killing? I don't understand this connection to killing Digimon.
You're focusing on the unimportant part.
I'm just confused why you're like bad thing. So kill Digimon. Anyway, yeah, it's close to Lalamon, close to Lilymon. At least it's not close to Rosemon.
Well,
Digimon is just a recolored all the other ones.
Oh, get ready for some fun, Ashley.
With boobs. Sorry, I forgot.
So I want to talk about death in Digimon and how it pertains, or in light of what we've seen in this arc, more from a storytelling craft perspective, how they're using the concept of death. And I guess we do have to kind of spoil something for Ashley at this point, because I think the evidence we've seen is that, well, first of all, we know that so the evidence we've seen is that Keenan talks about Frigimon dying for good. And Marcus is like, no, that can't happen. Digimon are just reconfigured. And Keenan's like, no, that's not true. She died for good. And I guess with just that information we've been presented with, it's possible to speculate that Frigimon did actually get reconfigured, and Keenan just doesn't know where she is. And they get reunited later on. And it's like, oh, there isn't death in Digimon. But spoiler alert, there is death in Digimon. So I want to talk about it now since it's been introduced. And so yeah.
Why would I have assumed that was a lie?
I don't think you would assume it was a possibility, since we didn't actually see the death happen yet.
I'm a loyal believer in what stories tell me.
Like Merukimon being Marcus's dad.
Well, no, that one's fun though. Merukimon is totally Marcus's dad. The story has not explicitly said that he's not Marcus's dad at this point, so therefore.
Please, in the comments, do not spoil it for Ashley whether Marcus's dad is Merukimon or not. We want to keep that secret. Wait, Ash, do you remember who Mark's dad is?
Merukimon.
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you didn't get that far. Did you find out
No,
later or
I
something?
did. I did get far. I think I only missed like 10 episodes in 2/3 of the way through.
Oh, okay.
You basically gave up around the Royal Knights. Spoiler.
That's about right. I usually give up around the Royal Knights.
Okay. Getting back to death. So there are two types of death in this universe, in the Saber's world. There's being reborn into an egg where you lose your memories, and dying for good like Frigimon. And I mean, my little grumble here is that I'm frustrated that Marcus, like when Keenan talks about Frigimon dying, Marcus is like, don't die, it's gonna be reconfigured. It's like, well, if you lose your memories, that is basically dying. Like I feel like it's a little bit frustrating to just shrug that off. It's like, they're not really dead. It's like, oh, once they lost their memories, it basically, I think the memories are like the most important part of a person. And so like, yeah. Anyway, but kind of comparing it to the mechanics of death in other seasons of Digimon, and I really like how it's introduced here, that we've had this mechanic of Digimon being reborn presented for a while, and then they add on top of it, oh, but there's this other way they can die that is much more, the stakes are much higher, and it adds, like, we think things are safe, like, oh, there's not that much risk actually to fighting, whatever, like, it's like there's a fallback, like, I might lose their memories, but we also see that Biyomon, if the love bond is strong enough, they'll be reborn with some memories intact. I think it was also a really good way to introduce the concept that normally memories are lost, is to show that it's abnormal when they do come back. But anyway, and I think in the abstract, Adventure had similar mechanics, because in Adventure Universe, if you die with condition X, you are reborn. If you die with condition Y, you die for good. But like Adventure, it's communicated so poorly. Like the question of whether Digimon die for good or not in the real world was like an open question until try, and like the idea of like whether Digimon lose their memories or not when they are reborn under normal conditions, still I think up in the air. Like, I mean, we see Patamon get reborn, and we think retain his memories, but it's never really clear about that or not. Because, like, I don't know if the memories that Patamon and TK had from that early 10 episodes actually would impact the way that Patamon acts later on. So it's like Adventure in the concept has some of the same things, but like it's so kind of sloppily told. And I think the reason that I consider it kind of sloppy is that it's about like story convenience versus consistency. And like Adventure and Frontier both seem to be written from a place of convenience. Like they're going for the story first, and then seeing what mechanics they can use to fit into that story, and kind of like pushing off some of those questions and answers until they're necessary for the story. Whereas Tamers and Savers seem to be written from a place more of like firmly establishing what the mechanics are, and then telling a story fitting in those mechanics. You know, I mean, Tamers, Digimon die for good and everything. And I don't know. I mean, I tend to value that consistency over the convenience, but my preference there isn't for everyone. I can see how some people want the most engaging story, first of all, and don't really care about mechanical consistency or coherence of mechanics. It's something that comes up a fair amount in like One Piece, where like the devil fruit powers will have elaborate rules, but not really, because they're kind of just made up on the fly to like tell whatever story Oda wants to tell. And some people care a lot about figuring out the like intricate mechanics of that, but I think to some degree that's kind of missing the point. That's like not really the kind of story the author's going for. And yeah, so it's all to say, like, I really think the reveal of, even though I knew, actually I kind of forgotten about this part about the death in Digimon, so it was kind of like I was rediscovering it watching this time. And there's something about like having set up the rebirth for so long, and then introducing, oh, there's an extra level of death that I find a lot more compelling.
You can be deader.
Yeah, like I mean, death.
Deader.
Like I think at some level it's even more, it excites me more than Sabers, or more than Tamers, because in Tamers it was like so present a threat that you felt like they were never really at risk, except for when it happens with Leomon or whatever. But like in this, it's like, okay, you're safe, or the Digimon are safe most of the time, except for some mysterious way. And I don't know, I think that kind of makes it more intriguing, exciting.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. Death of Digimon is kind of like, I feel like this story has not progressed enough with the death being permanent in the season for me to like super care yet.
yeah, I guess like in actually showing mechanics the mechanics haven't been shown yet. It's mainly just, it was really just like the reveal of, and then like the little debate between Keenan and Marcus that got me excited about this. And I guess we still have more to get to see how it plays out.
Yeah, and it just frustrates me that I guess the story goes out of its way to explain mortal danger for Digimon, but like again, only has one way of doing it for humans and ignores all the other several ways that it actually puts them in mortal danger. But it's like, no, they're not actually in danger, right? Like, you know that they can't actually be hurt in any significant way. And it's just like, whatever, Digimon. Like, I don't care. Like...
I guess like I do kind of appreciate though that like the question of whether they're at mortal risk if they get hurt in the digital world is never brought up. I don't feel like it ever has to be. I feel like it's just kind of clear from the onset that it's like, yeah, you are being transported to the digital world. It's another place, and if you get hurt there, yeah, you get hurt. That is you. There's no like I still
yeah, there's no you're a digital
right. I find
that
little mini arc adventure where Tai I guess finds out that it's a digital world and then it's like, oh, I don't need to worry about getting hurt because it's like what logic brought you to that place anyway? Like I like how this kind of sidesteps that completely and it's just like no, you yes, we call it the digital world. It is resembling digital things, but like yeah, obviously you're going to get hurt.
Cool. I mean, that's fine. It's just that, I don't know. But it's never going to actually hurt them.
Right. In practice, like, Marcus still jumps up to punch a Mega Level Digimon.
Yeah.
Without any concern of his own safety. So
he jumps off of Mach Galgamon carrying him in the middle of, like, an ocean to punch a Digimon. I'm like, what? No.
And on the other hand, they keep, like, Thomas keeps talking about, like, oh, we're in the open. We might get attacked. We need to deal with
him and Yoshi are really about how there's no cover anywhere.
Right, but like you came to the digital world to fight a Mega Level Digimon with two champions, one ultimate. Like nothing about your plan was logical from the onset, but you're like, oh, but we must be undercover at all times, like in case we get surprise attacked. Okay.
I love that they lost all their supplies immediately. Maybe I was like, this is so woefully not planned well. It's great.
What could possibly go wrong?
Everything. I want to talk about my favorite person, Marcus's dad, Merukimon, and why he is such a compelling villain, and why some of his tactics are better than others, but all villainous. So, good villain.
Villainous. Okay, that's actually... Go on, but I kind of take a little issue with that.
Villain?
I mean, he's definitely presented a villain at this point, but I kind of sympathize with him a lot more than I expected to.
No, I sympathize with him. Like, that's why he's a good villain, because you, like, understand his motivation.
I guess he makes it... But I feel like I don't find his tactics actually villainous. I find the tactics of his henchmen villainous.
Okay, no, okay. The two tactics that I'm speaking of are that he built a wall to block off the digital gate, which they destroy at the very end of this episode to go home. I don't know where Keenan has, like, come from, but they have essentially captured him, made him think he's a Digimon, and treat him as a Digimon, right? Okay, great. So, first of all, the wall thing, I was like, that's interesting. I mean, everybody wants to build a wall these days. Cough, Donald Trump, cough. But like walls throughout history have proven that they don't work. So I don't know why all you bad people like want to keep doing that. Walls are more of a symptom of a problem, like a very blatant, visible symptom of a problem rather than a solution to that problem. They will often make it worse. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, villain 101 tactic there, but cool. Like it got destroyed immediately, so proved you wrong.
I mean, also like not even. I mean, we live in a world where like the idea of a literal wall is a possibility or whatever. But like, I feel like in most contexts, up until this crazy set of years or whatever, like it was just the concept like a metaphorical walls were also dangerous, and like the world has trended towards globalization and opening up of borders and everything. And so like, yeah, like closing countries off is usually tied in with villainy and corrupt politics and corrupt leadership and stuff. And so, yeah. Well,
it's tied in with like nativism too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, our prime example of a wall being bad is like the Berlin Wall. And
that went so well.
It went so well. But the reason that doesn't go well is like, yeah, you want to stop people from fleeing to the better part of Berlin, but that doesn't freaking solve the fact that East Berlin sucks, like, and is full of repressive crap. Like, it's just like people are going to learn to tear that wall down. Ugh.
That's a very different kind of... That's like a wall to contain rather than a wall to keep out. But I guess it's also to keep out ideals. to some degree.
Yeah. They're definitely trying to keep out West Berliners as well, right? Like,
I guess so. But like that wasn't I feel like the West Berliners coming in and influencing, but yeah.
I don't know. The article that I read actually cited that there are more literal walls being built these days,
really?
even though it's like,
outside of,
this does not work. Outside of Americas. Yeah. Also in the Middle East and other highly contentious places, also like North and South Korea. Like, we're all waiting for that to come down and stuff. It does say that, like some walls work better than others given different factors, but like, yeah, evil tactic 101, build a wall. It's probably not going to work. Probably just waste lots of money.
You're going to link to this article in the show notes, right?
Sure.
Okay.
So I guess I do that. I guess.
I'm just saying, like, you didn't explain what this article was. You're just like, an article.
The political article called "The World is Full of Walls That Don't Work." Why would Donald Trump want to build another one?
Well, he built a bunch of prototypes in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, there's already like kind of walls, like less intense walls than I guess whatever Donald Trump wants between the U.S. and Mexico, and people don't like it. It creates more congestion for people who have to go back and forth in those areas every day. This article also cites like environmental issues. These things are not present in Digimon. I'm just saying, like generally.
Let's go back to Digimon somehow.
Let's get back to Digimon somehow. Okay.
What's Digimon?
I like his evil tactic too of taking a human and making them their own, because that's actually a much more effective evil person tactic. And given that Keenan is shown, he is shown to be like, he has face paint. He clearly has this like symbology of being some sort of tribal native person, even though he can't be native so he's just like a primitive human, I guess, is what they're going for. And it actually reminded me of like learning about how Native American tribes in particular used to, when they had warfare with white people who were invading or other tribes, if they lost a significant number of people, they would then capture other people from other tribes and bring them into their own. And it's very interesting because some of the like white people that were captured actually then were like, no, I really like that. Like, Westerners tried to bring them back, and then they'd be like, no, I want to stay with my native tribe and go back and stuff. And I'm like, effective tactics. I like it. It's still bad, but like, because the act of kidnapping people is still not like a cool tactic to do.
Right.
Like,
I think by cool, you mean
okay.
like plausibly effective. And
plausibly effective from a psychological perspective. If you capture a child and then bring them into your own, like they will assimilate into you and be like, yes, I feel for you. I feel that you have my best interest in mind.
Right. Like if you accept that like where you were born is to some degree random and not up to your control, and like you are born into a place, grow up your entire life there, and then find out that like actually you were born somewhere else, and for like after a month in that one place, you were transferred to a different place. Like, okay. To some degree, I guess that might be a fundamental breach of trust of the people that apparently kidnapped you. But like in every other regard, maybe they've treated you well. And so like, I feel like I kind of, when I recall the season, don't like where it eventually goes with that.
I am very trepidatious about where it's going to go.
Right.
Both from a, like, now the kids have obviously done we've recaptured Keenan. He is a human. We've taken him back with us. And I'm like, okay, it's going to go somewhere. I'm very, very scared. I assume in the end he's like, yes, I will be a human, and then I don't know, maybe he'll learn to speak normally because he'll go to school and whatever. But
I think where I remember going reminds me a lot of The Boy and the Beast, actually, where it's like, oh, he's been raised for most of his life as some hybrid of both, but then he reached a certain age and then is like, I actually want to be a human, though. I want to learn schooling and stuff. I don't remember. I just remember, I think he eventually accepts his human side more, but I don't remember exactly.
Interesting.
But yeah, I didn't realize that I'm surprised, and I don't want to say I'm like happy but I'm surprised to learn that like those tactics of incorporating, assimilating people into your culture was actually a thing that native tribes did. Because the thing it made me think of was just like, like nations conquering each other. And that's more like going out, conquering a place, assimilating them into your culture by taking over physically the location. But that's very different from like taking them back into the place. And so I didn't realize that there's a history of not just being about land expansion, but people expansion too.
Yeah, there's a history of self-preservation, just trying to help some peeps out, like not make them inferior when you bring them into your culture. Yeah. Very interesting. So I think that like Merukimon using those tactics, having a plausible motivation, like I think his motivation is perfectly fine. He's like, yeah, humans made it so that there's digi permadeath and I don't like it. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. You shouldn't like that. That's
I can't believe I didn't call it permadeath. Like I should have just went, geez, I was like fumbling around how to describe the two different levels of death. And like, yeah, there's obviously anyway, yeah.
Obviously, it's going to be revealed that in some way his thinking is flawed, and obviously they will have to come to an actual resolution. But
I don't remember, and it definitely hasn't been revealed in these episodes, why Keenan was taken. Like if it was some misunderstanding, if it was accidental, and all these things. I forget how that plays out.
Well, I mean, Merukimon is Marcus's dad, and Keenan is 10 years old. So I think that Keenan is just Marcus's dad's new son. Anyway, Merukimon is kind of my favorite villain, I think. Trubimon, a solid second. Also, I really liked Phantomon.
Metal Phantomon?
All right, you guys. Yeah, Metal Phantomon. That's what I meant.
Did you know?
Really?
Ashley, I can ruin him for you. Did you know that Metal Phantomon is a carrier of the X antibody? Apparently.
Okay.
Is it?
According to the wiki.
Why would that ruin it for me? It's fine.
How can you hate a face like that?
He carries the seed of X evolution in him.
Yeah, but the X Digimon are cool, except for Metal
so.
Garurumon.
I had some more thoughts about, and I guess it's like only tangentially related to this wall stuff, but it's kind of about like the racism of Keenan. Like how Keenan intersects with this like human versus Digimon racism. And I thought it was pretty illuminating how Keenan and Falcomon, in the first episode where like Keenan appears, like they assume that Cherrymon is on their side without actually listening to what he says. Like they're just like, you are Digimon side, human side. We don't actually listen to, and I feel like it, I don't know, shows kind of his Keenan's indoctrination and everything. And I don't know what that really says about racism or whatever, but it shows
discrimination.
But like, so I feel like what that kind
prejudice.
What it kind of shows is that like the kids are actually more open-minded and they are more like listening to Digimon concerns, and they are in the right. And Keenan is not listening to their concerns; he's not in the right. But I feel like it'd be like you could conclude from that like the kids are less racist than Keenan. But I feel like there are all the other ways that like the way that the humans assume the Digimon are aggressive, the way that like they make so many inferences about Merukimon's intent that are like totally unfounded, and we even see in this arc that they're like totally wrong. And like they assume that because Biyomon appeared, that Merukimon's going to attack, and that Merukimon sent Biyomon as a Trojan horse and all this stuff, and we need to go take Merukimon down. All these wrong assumptions that come from a kind of racist perspective of like assuming they're going to be aggressive and everything. So yeah, I don't think it's quite racism.
Stereotypes definitely abound in the Digimons.
Yeah. Speciesism, I guess, is the more appropriate term in this case.
Yeah.
I don't know what the...
Also, I was inspired to do this topic because I have still in the middle of The Better Angels of Our Nature by Steven Pinker, and it's a very, very elaborate deep dive into why we have become a less violent society over time. And then looking at Keenan, thinking of the things I had learned, I was like, yeah. I dig Merukimon.
Welcome to Game Show Gattai. This is our hybrid of several different game shows into a Digimon-themed running contest. The current score after 2 rounds: in 4th place is Asher with 0 points. 3rd place is Andrew with 22 points. Ashley in 2nd place with 50, and the one and only Jeff in 1st place with 89 points.
Cheating
a little bit because I construct the rules and everything, apparently, and I have unconscious biases. But anyway, we have 2 main rounds, and to choose players for each round, we do 2 lightning question qualifiers. So lightning question number 1, these are Price is Right style rules, and we asked on Twitter which stats agent would have the best Halloween costume. And so the choices were Marcus, Yoshino, or Thomas, and Yoshino was the number 1 answer. So we are going to guess Price is Right style rules, the percentage of people that voted for Yoshino having the best Halloween costume. And a reminder, Price is Right style rules is you want to get the closest number without going over. Without going over means that if the correct answer is 50 and you say 51, you get nothing. You are just wrong. And what else is there? The lowest answer that it makes sense to put is 33 because we know that Yoshino is the highest of the three, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So it needs to have at least 33%. And so, yeah, like on The Price is Right, if you think that everyone else has guessed above the right number, you can just guess $1. But here the equivalent of that is saying 33. Anyway. So I will guess first, and I will say 60. Ashley.
Me. Oof. 49.
Andrew.
50.
Ooh. Asher.
61.
Ooh.
Going for the snipes, these brothers.
And the correct answer was 43.
Whoa!
So
we're all over.
What happens then?
What does happen now?
Ashley
Jeff didn't take this into the...
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna happen. I didn't think about this. What happens if Price is Right? Okay, so I didn't.
Just give it to Ashley.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. I think they just do another thing. Maybe they just don't air that.
No, I think they have to go through again and guess. Yeah, you shouldn't. But then, yeah.
Oh, I see. I shouldn't have known the answer. I should just. But we can't really do that.
Somebody has to know the answer.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever, just give it to Ashley.
I mean, we could either reward it to Ashley, or I didn't really look at the other two answer numbers. We could guess one of those for Marcus or Thomas.
Just give it to Ashley.
Okay, we'll give it to Ashley.
Or we can just do rock, paper, scissors for it.
No. We'll give it to Ashley. This is a rare exception. This shouldn't happen often. So Ashley, and bold when someone gets it right.
Got it wrong, but I got it so right.
Okay, and lightning question number 2. The question is, which stats agent would enjoy Thor Ragnarok the most? The choices are Marcus, Yoshino, or Thomas. Ashley, since you are not playing this round, can you check for the answer? Who was number 1?
Marcus.
Okay. I go first. I will guess 70. Andrew.
42.
Asher.
43.
Ashley,
Jeff
what's
is-
the right answer?
82.
Ooh,
Whoa!
that's high.
Yep.
Okay. So it's me and Ashley in the Digifeud. Oh, what was that noise, Ashley?
Nothing.
So we're going to play Digifeud. It's based on Family Feud. I don't really know the rules, but you have to buzz in with your mouse. And the first one to buzz in gets to make a guess. And if they don't guess an answer that's on the board, it goes to the other person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And if they do guess an answer that's on the board, they get to choose whether they want to start or rather continue guessing what's on the board or pass it to the other person. And if the other person doesn't get all of them and uses up all 3 strikes, they go back to the first person.
It was close. I mean, for the when we buzz in for a first guess, we can both, even if I buzz in first, Ashley also gets a guess. And it's only if I get the number 1 answer that Ashley doesn't get a guess. We both get to pick one, but if the first person gets the first answer anyway, then it doesn't. There's no need.
Okay.
You don't need to explain.
All right.
That was the explanation.
Okay. Shall we start?
Mm-hmm.
Shall we begin? Yeah, ready. I'm ready.
All right. Is everyone ready? Andrew, are you ready?
Possibly.
Here is the question. Keenan spends most of his childhood in the digital world. If you could take one human character from Digimon seasons 1 through 4, so that's Adventure, Adventure 02, Tamers, or Frontier, and rewrite their history so that they grew up in the digital world, who would it be?
Takato. Wow.
Jeff?
Okay. Rika. So now we keep going. We keep alternating.
Yeah.
Wait, Ashley,
Taichi.
do we keep alternating until we both have answers, or just until the first person?
I think it still applies if I don't get the top one. I don't know.
Okay.
Also, I said tie. China. What? All right.
What is desirable?
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I clearly can't figure out what desirable trait.
On what axis would someone?
I don't know. I'm looking at these answers. I can't do what our listeners are thinking.
That's promising.
So the one extra bit of information I guess I should divulge is that friend of the show, Adam Pulver, Air Pulver from System Restore and With Will Podcast, he quote tweeted the poll on Twitter and I think said something to the effect of it'll be hard to think of the answer, but once you think of it, it'll be obvious, or you'll wish it had happened. I think was
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that means because I still don't know what.
I guess we should be thinking of like villains and how they would interact with the human who was brought.
I don't know. I'll say Kari.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ooh.
I think since you're the second player, that means you just get it.
Okay. Oh, I get the choice.
So,
Yeah.
yes, you get the choice.
Okay, so that was the third, number 3 answer with 12%.
Yes.
Cool.
It's percentage, but then I got confused. I was like, do I have to say the number, the ranking also?
Yeah.
But yes, that is with 12%.
I will pass. This seems hard.
I don't like that you have passed.
That strikes.
Okay. I guess I'm going to see if people just like generally put kid characters. So TK? Okay. Interesting. What season is it? It's all of them?
1 through 4.
1 through 4. Interesting. Okay. 1 through 4. Okay. So 4. Who are my options? Takuya, Koji, Koichi, Zoe, Tommy. Terrible options. Okay. Sora. Cool. I'm really good here. All right. Rika and Takata were ruled out. Rio kind of already lived there. What's Ken's brother? What's his name? That guy.
Ooh, Sam.
Eh.
Oh.
All right, Ashley's up.
Okay, so I just need to get one right, and then I guess I won't get that many points.
You get 12 points.
Well, I'll
or
get whatever points.
Also, yeah. But if you don't get it right, I get 12 points.
Ooh, 12
To be
points.
clear.
12 points. I'll say Ken. What? Not Ken.
Oh, yes.
12 points.
So does that mean? Oh, so you only get 12 points?
Yeah, I only
Is
get 12.
that what happens?
Yep.
Oh, Ashley gets the 12 points?
I get the 12 points.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Because he.
Anyway, do you want to hear the answers?
Yeah.
Number
1, Andrew.
Yo.
Andrew.
Damn, I was gonna say Rio, but I
Yes,
was like, he
number 1
already
was
lived
Rio.
in the digital
Yeah,
world.
why would-
though.
That's what you're right. I don't know.
Well, he lived there
Number
temporarily,
2.
so why would you want him to live there more? I don't.
Number 2 was Davis
Ooh.
with also 12%. Number 4 was Koichi with 12%. And
I'm
number
gonna
5
say
was,
Koichi. Oh, damn it.
number 5 was Zoe.
Huh.
I definitely was never gonna guess Zoe or Davis, but I definitely was like Rio. But Rio was already a kid in the digital world, so no.
Yeah.
And then Koichi, I was like, Koichi is like more obscure. I don't want to say something from the Frontier because I feel like nobody picked them.
There were 2 from Frontier on there.
I
Apparently.
know.
What? But I think I'd seen on Twitter people reply to the tweet being like something about Rio, and then I was
I
like,
did see that tweet.
but I was like, but yeah, why would I feel like that was? I assumed that was like a stray person or something, and so I was like, yeah, why would you want him to be there more? I really don't understand what Adam's point was then about like what would make you wish it. See, like Ken, I realized like Ken, I wish had been there now because then he would have learned they were real things and everything. And
I don't know. I don't think that the way that I read Adam's thing was not that there is one obvious answer. It's that when you think of the answer that appeals to you, you'll really wish it happened.
I see.
Yeah. But the thinking of who you want it to be is the hard part.
I'm looking through to see if there are any funny answers, and I mean, there's one answer for Alice and Tamers.
Oh my god. See, that's why I was like, okay, should have just said Koichi.
There was also a vote for Oikawa, which isn't so much as funny as like granting his wish.
Yeah.
Oh. And Susie, that would be kind of mean.
That's terrible.
Okay, so Ashley got 12 points.
I feel like what I'm learning is that stuff where I'm like, but logically Rio makes no sense is like I should always say it because some silly listeners always freaking put the.
I think it's the people they just think about it less than we do. We think through the logic and like no, but like I can see a reason why you wouldn't put that. But other people always like fill out the form quickly and they're like, oh, they don't get to that stage.
I guess.
Anyway, on to the qualifying questions for round 2. Lightning question number 3. Which stats agent would know the most memes? The number 1 answer was Marcus. of the choices, obviously Marcus, Yoshi, or Thomas. So Ashley, what percentage do you guess?
Know the most memes. Marcus is number one. All right. 40.
I'll put 41. Andrew.
60.
Asher.
Wow. 33.
Ooh, the correct answer was 40. Oh, Ashley got it right on the nose. Whoa.
Wow.
Boom, boom, boom.
All right. All right.
Racking up them points, Ashley.
Racking up them 12 points. 12 points at a time.
Okay, and lightning question number 4, which I have to abstain from because I saw the answer and can't get it out of my mind.
Oh, okay, so it's fine.
Yeah, so it's just Asher.
So it's just me.
Yeah, it's just Andrew and
It's
Asher.
me and Asher.
So it's the regular question: which is the better DATS computer operator? And like every time, we're guessing for Miki. And just to in the what's the phrase I'm looking for? In the spirit of full disclosure, the first round Miki had 64%, second round 59%. So now you're trying to guess what percentage she has this time. Miki or Megumi? Guess for Miki. Andrew, what's your percentage?
My percentage is 61.
Asher.
62.
The
That
answer.
was a terrible mistake, Asher.
That was a terrible mistake. The answer was 71.
Oh, wow.
So Asher got it right.
Hey.
So now
I have a chance to win a point.
Oh, my God, Asher. Yes, you can get on the board.
That's true. Okay, and now it's time for round 2 prediction jurisdiction. This time it is Ashley versus Asher. It's the battle of the ashes.
Yeah.
The world will fall to ash.
Is finally a chance for Asher to get some points, and so
Yeah.
so we're going to try a new and more streamlined format of prediction jurisdiction this time, where we have secretly asked Asher and Ashley to fill out their answers on their own, and we're not going to have to do. It's going to simplify things. So we're going to start off with Ashley. I want you to guess Ash's answer to the question: how would you rank the first 5 seasons of Digimon?
All right. I might have this a little wrong, but I'm pretty sure number 1 is 02. 02, then Adventure. This is where it gets tricky. I'm less certain of the next ones. What am I? Oh, Tamers. No, Tamers is last, I think. No, Data Squad is last. Frontier can't be that high anymore, though. It's so hard.
This is fun to watch. It was just fun to watch with Andrew and I knowing the answers.
I bet it is.
I mean, it's fun. It's fun to watch with me knowing the answers too.
Yeah, all of you know the answers except me. So you're just watching me struggle now. Okay. Fudge, man. Okay. But Asher doesn't like Tamers. Can't be third. Okay, like Data Squad that much. Has to go above Frontier, but also can't be third.
It doesn't compute. Ash is a contradiction.
Asher's mind makes no sense to me.
See, what I love about this question is it's like this answer should be easy if any of us have been paying attention to each other.
Right. But then again, like throughout the 2.5 years we've been doing this, our answers have changed.
Oh, right, they have changed, but we answered this as recently as like 500.
I know.
Yeah, but that was like 3 months ago.
Yeah,
man.
it was a while ago. It was August. Yeah, like 3 months ago.
Yeah,
August was 3 months ago.
it's November
Unfortunately.
right now.
Yeah,
No, it's not.
It is November.
it
is my month.
It's Spooktember.
No, it's not anymore.
Whatever. Let's.
Ashley,
All right.
you have
Ashley.
All right. I'm gonna go Frontier.
Frontier for
Third.
third
Number
place.
3.
Yeah. What am I missing? Data Squad and Tamers. Okay, fantastic. Tamers. Data Squad.
Hold on 1 second while we run it through the fancy algorithm that computes me trying to find the soundboard clip. That's not the right one.
I get both of them wrong? Wow.
You got them all right.
Yes! I know, Asher.
You do. And also, to be fair, my selections have changed the least out of the 4 of us.
It is.
I'm sad to see Data Squad on the bottom.
Ooh, Well,
The one he
so
hasn't
far,
finished.
it hasn't.
Taken
Yeah.
enough for him. And I was like, I think Asher, like, I remember that Asher was like, I know Frontier is bad, but like, I still dislike Tamers more. So I was like, I guess I have to put that above that.
You are correct. I have more fun watching Frontier than Tamers.
Yeah.
Okay, so Asher, now you have to guess Ashley's answer.
All right. So number 1, I believe, is Tamers. And then I don't know after that.
Just take wild guesses.
No, I'm not taking wild guesses. Like, I have like general ideas. So if Tamers is on top, I think Frontier is in last place. I guess Adventure for second, and then Savers, and then O2 is fourth.
Okay. Is that your final?
Right.
Flies.
I mean, yeah, I don't believe in checking my answers, so.
Okay. Let me see if I can get this right. Okay. Here
You
is
got
the
2 right.
Asher doesn't know me like I know him.
So
This
you
is
got 2 right.
true across the board.
It's true.
Okay, so that was the base points. Ashley got 25 base points. Ashley got 10 base points. But we have a bonus double or nothing question.
Wow.
So
Alright.
you do not need to answer this, but you can either, if you get it right, you'll get 2 extra points. If you get it wrong, you get 0 points. It'll remove your
Alright.
points. And
Okay.
you would have to guess what your partner said for who is better, Miki or Megumi. Do either of you
Alright.
want to take the question?
I will take the question.
Ooh, to double your points to 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will keep my perfect. I will keep my 25 points.
Okay, Asher, what do you guess Ashley picked? Miki or Megumi?
Miki.
There goes your points.
Really? All right.
Damn it, Asher!
Oh, oops, I did this wrong.
You squandered your life.
Wait, what?
No. I just Andrew and I are entering in the spreadsheet wrong.
Oh, okay.
You're like, no, you still got it wrong.
All right. No, that's interesting to me. You like the blonde better?
I feel like I initially put Megumi, then switched to Miki because I was like, yeah, I don't like blonde characters. But then I feel like Megumi is the one who actually does stuff.
Huh.
You both have Megumi, so
Yeah.
private answers.
See, like, I don't know, like.
You didn't realize
I
how
thought
in
you'd
sync
pick
you were.
Miki because Miki looks more like put together and competent. You know.
Eyes actually scare me a lot. They
I
don't like have pupils or whatever. They're just
okay.
purpleness.
Fair enough.
And again, I feel like Megumi is the one that we see. Maybe it's just my bias. I feel like Megumi does more.
Wait, so the only person who got any points this whole round was Ashley.
Me! Haha, fool!
However, okay, with the new totals, so Ashley got 37 points this round in round 503.
Right, so how many points does Ash have now?
Ash has
0.
Still at 0.
Seriously?
Yeah.
He lost them in the bet.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Okay.
look at Jeff and Ashley.
So I have 89 points in first place. Ashley has 87, pretty close to me in second place. And then Andrew in third, 22, and Asher still in fourth with 0 points.
I want to see. If
I
can
can't
keep this
believe I'm not in last place for once.
up. I am just not good at this.
Asher really wants to stay with 0 points. And he's like, actually, my new goal is to not get any points.
It is my new goal.
It's really easy to lose the lightning questions, though, if you just like guess one lower than anyone else.
I've been pretty good at the lightning questions.
Yeah,
Have
has
you?
Asher been in rounds? Like, Asher has been in rounds. He just hasn't gotten
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just bad at it.
Asher,
Okay.
I'm
also just
sad that you
don't
don't
like-
love me as much as I love you.
I also don't love Andrew as much as he loves me. I don't think
Yeah.
I've actually been.
Excuse me?
I've done whatever we call that game, prediction jurisdiction, twice with you, and both times you got me perfectly, but I did not get you.
Yeah, it's true.
I am just not good at this. And I'm not good at DigiFeud either.
This one was hard. In particular, I mean,
No, Asher and I had that one where we got really heated about I forget what it was about now. I was really mad.
You were really mad at the question and me for forming the question.
Uh-huh.
The very first one we did, wasn't it?
It was like the first or second one.
I don't think it was the very first. It was one of the first ones we did of the not like rapid fire question.
I see.
Yeah, because I remember the first one was actually fun. Like we got like a fair amount of the ones that were on the board. We thought it was a funny question. Like, and then the second one, I was like, this is atrocious. I hate everything.
Let's set the timer for 5 minutes and spew out some unanswered questions.
I have only one, since I don't know this much about the season. But when they were all tied up by the Dokukumon, Agumon and Lalamon's mouths were not tied up. Their attacks use their mouths. Why could they not use those attacks to break free?
That's too much
Because they could easily burn each other.
Too much logic. Too much logic.
Too much logic.
Why? So, okay. So the kids and the Data Squad. Sorry, I don't like calling them the Data Squad. I think in my headcanon, that's the title of the show, and they never use it in the actual show itself. They do. In my headcanon, they don't. In my AU that I assume I interpret onto this world. Anyway, they interpret Biomon's egg as being sent from Merukimon on purpose. But like in reality, Merukimon lost it. Like, I mean, Biomon digivolved into Aquilamon and went of his own will, whatever. So why doesn't Merukimon go back to fetch him like he did the first time? Wouldn't that like be the logical thing for Merukimon to do? And then they would have left Biomon completely defenseless. I guess maybe it's cared for.
He knew that Biomon had to follow his heart.
I guess also the first time he went, it was to get Falcomon back too. He would only go if it was to kill two birds with one stone.
Oh.
Also, where did Marcus think his dad had gone up until this point? Because like, what explanation satisfied him up until now? Where he was like, "Oh, it was a digital world."
To the store
To buy milk for 10,000 years.
Digi cigarettes. Also,
Cosmo, did you get the milk?
Okay. So Marcus's faith, like once they lose their equipment, and Marcus is like, we'll definitely be able to get back to the real world if we just have faith. Sorry, the human world, not the real one. Anyway, but like, how can he have such an optimistic, faith-based belief that they can get back to the human world if like his dad wasn't able to get back? Like
everything Marcus just says is not based on like any logic. It's based on
but it's like the logical conclusion of that is that he assumes his dad does not want to get back or does not have faith. And
I guess, his dad couldn't just punch Digimon and make his Digimon.
Well, I guess we know that his dad settled down as Merukimon and had babies.
And had babies, exactly.
Keenan.
Thank you. Now you get it.
I'm glad we have fully explored the human and Digimon mating procedure. Also, like once we find out about Marcus's dad disappearing in the digital world, they should have made a much bigger deal about Marcus and Thomas disappearing to the digital world before, if it is possible to get lost there for 10 years and never come back.
Yeah. I also really love that at some point, like before going, Sarah is like, just promise me you'll come back. Like, I don't want you to go to the digital world. I'm like, he's already been there once. I think he's hiding that. That's a secret.
Oh, maybe. And it's like, okay, I understand the Dat's kids, the agents or whatever, the main characters, thinking they could take on Merukimon, but why? I guess I already ranted about this. Like, why do any of the smart people like Samson?
I'm beginning to question how smart Samson is. I don't trust that he's actually that smart.
Wait. How did Lalamon's egg appear in front of Yoshino in like the middle of her recital? What?
Oh, is that what happened? I don't even.
They canceled the recital.
I mean, I guess maybe the implication was that or the assumption is that then Dats came and memory wiped everyone in the recital.
This recital is canceled.
I guess.
Sorry, Yoshino. No one remembers your concert now.
Oh, that can take away her performance anxiety.
Yeah. He's like, if I mess up, I'll just memory wipe all you fools.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's kind of
5.
It's kind of what we do with the podcast, with editing.
Okay.
Any more answer questions?
Dark. No. Except why, why do the kids immediately forget their mission? Why are they mad that Merukimon has taken Biomon back, which is exactly what they wanted? They just, they're mad that they didn't do it. I guess.
No, it's really just Marcus. I think Marcus is the main one who is like, Biomon must be sent back to the digital world because it's risky if he is with Kristy. But then as soon as Merukimon does exactly that, he's like, no, we must attack Merukimon. Or I guess he doesn't want to attack him until Biomon comes back as Aquilamon /Garudamon. maybe.
I guess.
But they should not be going to incite a race war with Merukimon.
Ridiculous dialogue draft, baby.
Where we each go around and pick our top 2 funniest, most ridiculous, or most touching lines for the episode. We're getting more into it, so now we're going to do 2. Jeff is apparently very excited, even though he used to get mad when I used to pick 3. Remember those days, you guys? Yeah, that was cute.
No, I think
Yeah.
we did 3 when it was 3
funny.
of us.
Yeah, it was when it was 3 of us. But still, those were the days. All right. Who's going first? How do we do this again?
It's in the doc.
You're going.
Oh, I'm going first. Haha, what's up? I was not prepared for that. Okay, let me read these real quick. Okay, I don't want to do both of these. I gotta pick one. Okay, I'll pick this one. They're both from the same episode. But in episode 16, they were really pedantic about the Digimon are not human thing in a funny way, which I guess plays into the othering race war things in a troubling manner. But, anyway. I guess this is towards the end of the episode when they find out that Falcomon gave Yoshi the medicine first. And Marcus says,
That guy's a man's man. Mm-hmm. He's a bird, but I know what you mean.
I feel like it's, yeah.
That one's pretty good. That was my number 3 pick.
All right, my turn.
Yeah.
The list said
Yeah.
so.
From the second episode of this set, which I don't know numbers. Numbers are not
13?
my friend.
13.
Sure, sounds like a number. And it's when the old guy shows up again. We don't know his name, right?
Yeah, I don't think we do yet.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Marcus says,
It's the Digivice guy.
Maybe we should ask him for Digi advice.
I literally wrote groan.
It's the perfect groan joke.
hello.
Andrew's turn.
This is in episode 16, and I guess Marcus is talking to Galmon, and Marcus says,
Medical license. How does he have that when he's the same age as me?
He's smarter than you.
I had that one written down too, and it bothers me because I'm like, that's not how getting a medical license works, though. Like, you actually need time to do that. Like, you can't just like forgo all the 10 years of residency that you need to go through. Like,
Neil Patrick Harris would beg to differ.
He would have had to start when he was 6.
yeah, I don't buy it. Don't buy it.
There's an entire TV show about this.
Huh?
Doogie Howser, the thing that made Neil Patrick Harris. He was a kid doctor.
Okay. Did he
in the
go to
early 90s.
residency?
I don't know.
I don't know.
what's the name of the show again?
I'm not sure how you pronounce Doogie Howser.
DOOGIEHOWSER.
It's like Bowser.
Doogie Howser?
Doogie Howser, yeah.
Anyway. Don't care.
My pick is from episode 12, and I can't remember the context. I guess it's just something where like they're in a room and Marcus is there, Kristy is there, and Thomas is there, and Marcus says to Kristy,
Is everything okay, sis? Not with you as her brother.
like, oh.
Rude. I will go with one from episode 12 as well. I'm trying to remember the context. I mean, they're battling, and it's Sunflowmon battling. Oh, it's Sunflowmon battling Falcomon, and Falcomon's fast or whatever. And so she just keeps trying to start her attack, and she's like,
Sunshine! Sunshine! So fast! Sunshine!
Stop wasting time and get that guy!
I was like, yes.
All right. This is, I guess, from episode 14. If the second one we watched was episode 13. I can count.
Cool.
So, yeah, I graduated kindergarten.
Cool.
So this is just after just after they first encountered Keenan, and they've driven him off, like they stopped the fighting, all right, and now they're friends with Cherrymon. And Marcus says,
There's some new humans in town, and we'll help anyone who needs it, human or Digimon.
and then he just keeps talking, like,
I mean us, by the way, and I guess we're in the forest, not in town, but look, we're just here to help, okay?
and I was like, Marcus, stop.
Stop being Marcus.
Okay.
Okay.
And I got another one from episode 14, and they're talking about the floating rocks, I guess. And Marcus quips.
Did you forget we deal with weird every day? A little more is not going to bug me.
You bug me.
That was my number 2 pick. You stole it from me.
Didn't you go already?
Jeff, how will you
No,
live?
I'm last. Then my pick will be... Okay, yeah, this one's multi-layered. This one's episode 18, and it's when Old Man Digivice appears. Which, by the way, like up until that point, I didn't really realize like he could have been like a Sixth Sense, Marcus seeing dead people kind of thing.
No, I definitely got that vibe. I was like, wait, is Marcus the only one? Especially since they seem surprised to see him there in the studio. Like he goes to Dats or whatever, and they're like, "Hi," and I was like, "But he came before and gave Marcus his Digivice back, and nobody reacted to him then." And I was like, "Oh crap, is he a ghost?" Like,
the ghost of Digivice's past.
I really thought he was a ghost until now.
But yeah, so they just encountered him, and Thomas says,
Well, I'm not entirely sure we should trust this guy.
Why not? I do.
That's why.
Since when did you start caring about my opinion?
Thomas is like, always.
always to go the opposite.
Yep.
And reminder too, you can vote on your favorite ridiculous dialogue draft pick on the website at pitages.com/503 and vote so we can look at the end of the season and see who had the best picks and what the best picks were, so we can include them in our Omega RDP at the end of the season. So since we know that Digimon don't have gender, apparently according to Renamon in Season 3, which doesn't necessarily apply to other seasons, but people apply to it anyway, we are going to do a gender quiz. This is a funny quiz that I found online. I think I found it from Jacob Chapman's Twitter, actually, that spits out absurd genders based on I don't know what you call this, like a BuzzFeed style kind of quiz, or magazine style kind of quiz. So we are going to go through, Ash is going to read us the questions, and then I'm going to answer for Keenan, Andrew's going to answer for Falcomon, Ashley's going to answer for Merukimon, and then at the end we will have 3 genders for these 3 Digimon, because Keenan is totally Digimon. Are we ready?
Yeah, ready. Okay. Is my mic on? My mic is on.
Yeah.
We're ready. All right. So, free online gender quiz. Have you ever wondered what your gender was? I know I have. Fortunately, you've come to the right place. This free online gender quiz will tell you everything you need to know about your gender. Just answer all the questions as truthfully as you can, and all will be revealed. Personal disclaimer, these questions are awful, tying them to gender. Okay, ready? Question 1. Oh, and you have to rank your answers from strongly disagree to strongly agree. All right? There's like 5 options in between. Question 1. I frequently stand up for myself. Question 2. I am considerate of others' feelings. Question 3. I am a natural leader. Question 4. I am known for my sense of humor. Question 5. I consider myself brave. Question 6. I can sometimes be aloof or withdrawn. Question 7. I enjoy having a large circle of friends, because only one gender enjoys having friends.
Ash, you haven't gotten to the absurd questions yet. Don't worry.
Yeah, you really haven't gotten to the...
Question 8. I am confident in my own abilities. Question 9. I have a very logical mind. What was that? Did I just say 9?
I don't know.
Question number. I am a very creative person. Question the next one after that. I sometimes feel that I am experiencing emotions. Oh no. Next question. I sometimes judge myself too harshly. Ready? I am generally an optimistic person. Oh God. I just saw the absurd questions. Next, I am frequently confused. The next question. My body is made of meat. My body is made of metal. My body is made of bits.
This is fitting.
My body is incorporeal or diffuse. I have questioned my gender identity. Overall, my friends have more gender than I do. I am all out of gender. Sometimes I look at myself in the mirror and wonder where my life went so wrong. That's me. That's my gender. I have been made to feel unwelcome due to my perceived or actual gender. I am an existential threat to organized human civilization due to my perceived or actual gender. My body is a prison that I will one day transcend. I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. This isn't even my final form. I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. I am ageless and undying. I am unstoppable. I simply cannot be stopped. Now, click your button. Okay, what gender am I?
Okay.
Okay, Ashley, answering for
it's
Merukimon.
this thing.
Merukimon is gender cube. Your gender is a three-dimensional solid object bounded by 6 square faces, facets, or sides, with 3 meeting at each vertex. It is the only regular hexahedron. I can't read science words.
That's a math word, Ashley.
Whatever. And is one of the 5 platonic solids. It has 6 faces, 12 edges, and 8 verticals.
And we should all take screenshots and post them in the student council Slack so we can save these for later.
See, Merukimon.
So Keenan is the monolith from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Keenan's gender appears at the beginning of the story, set in prehistoric times. It is discovered by a group. It is discovered by a group of hominids and somehow triggers a considerable shift in evolution, starting with the ability to use tools and weaponry. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Accurate.
Okay, so Falcomon apparently got your gender is vending machine. Though really, it's more like a gending machine.
Nice.
That's literally it. There's like nothing else.
That's all it is.
This is the best quiz I've ever seen.
Now Asher's like, I'm so sold on this quiz. This isn't even my final form, damn it. I put strongly agree.
Well, technically for Falcomon, it's true.
Yeah, for Merukimon, it's actually not true.
No,
he's a mega
he's
level.
like, I can go farther. I'm a Merukimon.
Yeah, I assume that Keenan hopes he can or thinks he can get stronger, can evolve. So I put that too.
After my body is a prison that I will one day transcend, I just put all strongly agree. So I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me.
I think how we have an archive of Asher going from this quiz is the stupidest thing I've ever seen to
This is amazing.
It's like I was actually listening to you explain it, and somehow I forgot your entire explanation before I started reading.
You just saw those first questions. It was like,
there it is. There it is, people. The gending machine.
I love it.
Oh boy. I hope there are enough different answers that we don't just get repeats if we do this again.
I want to do this every day of my life.
Every day. Get a different one each day.
Yeah.
So I wish it gave us pronouns to use so we could refer to these going forward. So I guess
just use them in the future, cube for Merukimon, and Keenan got what did he get? Monolith. Great.
Yeah. I need to read this down. Keenan got monolith and Falcomon got vending machine.
Honestly, it works. Does Falcomon even know what he's doing anymore?
Let's get ready for
Terminal Judgment!
Any last thoughts about this arc?
It exists.
Yeah.
It does
fine.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's good.
Truck Chan.
It's Coon.
Truck Coon.
Biomon, male Biomon's voice, I wrote 3 thumbs down. It's weird.
I agree. Strong agree.
Yeah.
It's also pretty weird the fact that they kept the Japanese saying perfect evolution when they say warp digivolve, 2 they go to ultimate and it says perfect, so it's 3 different terms that don't line up.
Cool.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Kamemon at all and his DJ
Kamemon.
Oh yeah,
Kamemon.
the turtle.
Oh,
the one that serves tea.
Oh gee, guys.
He fights?
Oh yeah, should have picked that for RDD.
He fights?
Gawapamon.
Oh, do you have any thoughts about the digital world?
Oh, I like this digital world. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it actually feels like a place that has like believable society. I mean, not like, like towns and stuff, but like I feel like Frontier had lots of towns and we're supposed to believe that actually made sense, and it never did. But here it's like, okay, you can actually see that there are like groups of Digimon that form around. Like Merukimon seems more like a warlord, which makes sense.
A shogun.
Yeah. Although they do kind of, I feel like in this arc, over rely on there's like the one place where everything's sideways, the one place where everything's upside down, and then the one place where everything's right side up. And
Yeah. Seems
Okay.
fine.
You're locking our MVPs.
Hey, you guys, you know what I'm gonna say? Marcus's
We do.
dad, Merukimon.
My MVP is Gaomon.
Did Galman say?
I love him. Okay, he doesn't need to say anything.
That's true. Mine, I'm gonna pick Falcomon. He's in a tough situation. I feel like he's
trying.
Yeah, he's trying. He loves Keenan. Keenan's acting stupid. Gatsumon's up on his grill for like, quote unquote, betraying everyone because he like got medicine. Like he just didn't have access to healthcare and went through an ordeal to heal his human, and just all out of love. And I think Andrew is also choosing Falcomon, but
Yeah, I guess I can't really remember anything that really stands out.
Falcomon / vending machine.
He's a vending machine of shurikens that explode.
He's a vending machine of gender. This is canonical. And yeah, so those are our MVPs for episode 503. And this is a reminder, if you're listening to this now, within a week of releasing it, you can vote. You can submit your fantasy draft picks for episode 504. And if you pick a fantasy team that includes a character that we choose as our MVP, then you get points for the fantasy draft and you can win stuff at the end of the season. So yeah, before we close out, Ashley, do you have any? Where do you think the story will go next?
Marcus's dad,
Merukimon. We'll come back. I mean, you told me that they have another confrontation with him, but he can't be the big bad. He can't be the like overarch because they're royal knights. Okay, so how do they play into it? So Yggdrasil must be here. No.
Ooh, I can't wait to do Yggdrasil's gender.
Yeah. Ooh.
Spoilers, Jeff.
Okay, so there's Yggdrasil. Okay, so Merukimon is just Marcus's dad is just a pawn. Cool.
Wait, so Ashley, you chose your MVP, Marcus's dad, Merukimon. Does that mean if people like if it possibly is not the case that he is not Marcus's dad, does that mean no one gets points if they choose Merukimon?
No, they get points if they choose Merukimon. They also get points if they choose Marcus's dad.
Okay.
I think that's how that should work. All right, you have some questions. Who's Marcus's dad? I already told you. Who's the old dude with the Digivice? I kind of feel like he like previous Samson? Maybe. I mean, I was convinced that he was a dead person that Marcus could see until it was confirmed otherwise. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess we have to find out what happened 10 years ago. So I'm sure that like
do you have any thoughts about like what have you pieced together as like what's your current mental model for what happened 10 years ago?
What have I been told? I've been told that they came there to research. There was some vial of medicine. Then Digimon were wiped out for permadeath via like removing servers. Okay. So if I assume that like they were that the goal was actually to figure out how to make Digimon and humans live peacefully together in the digital world, but there's a virus that infects humans that they somehow needed that vial initially for, that then something must have gone wrong in those experiments and like Digimon must have started getting sick. There must have been an outbreak that somehow that they were like, the only way to solve this is like the Digimon are like, well, we must get rid of the humans, but then there's something must have happened to those Digimon that they were like, the only way to solve this is through like permadeathing them. So so you have to delete them. But that only creates a vicious cycle of. But see, I'm confused why Japan branch of DATS did not seem to know about the permadeath, at least from the old guy. If I assume that he is somehow some old death agent.
I don't think he was expressing doubt at events happening. I don't think he was expressing a doubt at the idea of permadeath.
Right. No, right. He was expressing, like, I don't think that that's what happened. Like, I don't think the humans did that because it doesn't line up with what our goals were.
He was like, fake news.
Yeah, fake news. So, but I don't know. I kind of believe that they were permadeath, and that like Japanese deaths does not seem like the most competent branch of this organization, maybe at this point.
So do you think DATS is run by the Royal Knights?
Do I think DATS is run by the? Wow, well now I do.
Do you think that Kudamon, the little like scarf on
I know
Samson?
What Kudamon is.
Do you think Kudamon is Marcus's dad?
No.
I mean, it Kudamon.
Ooh. On that note, let's go to recommendation articulation. Let's go to our recommendations. This is recommendation articulation, our segment where we plug what we hug. No, we hug what we want to plug. Anyway, we recommend things. Ashley, what do you want to recommend this week?
So since I mentioned this at the end of my topic, I will just recommend that people go read the absurdly long book, The Better Angels of Our Nature by Steven Pinker. It is very, very thorough and in-depth about the grand reasons of why violence has declined in our society, what makes us violent in the first place. Goes throughout history, basically, and the large sweeps of changes that have, affected this. So right now I'm in a chapter that's like about the increase in fights for civil rights for various groups. I would not I like books and everything. I don't think Steven Pinker is like highly contested in some areas. So like, don't take everything that he says, like every little factoid that he shoots at you as like some hard truth. But I think, generally it's easy to see how what he says lines up with overarching patterns that you see with your eyes and live every day. But it's very enlightening, so you should read it. I like reading nonfiction. It makes me feel smarter. But also, I really love YA, so it's a battle. It's a battle.
And YA nonfiction is just called magazines.
Hey.
Asher, what do you want to recommend?
Oh God. I already feel awful recommending this. There's this game, or a visual novel, perhaps, might be better described as.
Does it have library in the title or something?
It does have library in the title. Well, not actually. It doesn't actually. It's called Doki Doki Literature Club.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Yes, I figured that's what you meant. And
what is happening?
It is. I actually can't say much about it without spoiling it. And I will say that it is not for the faint of heart, nor is it something I would normally enjoy. It is not something I would recommend to either Andrew or Ashley. Cool. Jeff, you might be interested just because it's a little weird and offbeat, but I'm not sure it's up your alley either. It can be graphic.
What is it?
That's about as much as I want to say about it. It's a dating sim.
Oh,
visual novel.
Is it a dating sim meets Danganronpa? Is that like
no? Because the dating sim meeting Danganronpa is just Danganronpa.
Yeah, it's already there. What is appealing about this? Like, what sets it apart? What makes it so?
What it does is done very well. The writing is fantastic, and the the meta aspects of it, like what does it mean to play a dating sim? What does it mean to think these fictional high school girls are desirable? It was written by English speaking people, which means that the writing is like crisper to me, an English speaking person. If that, like sometimes things just get lost in translation. It's really upsetting. Also, it's free.
Oh, it's free.
Yay!
It's free. You can download it off the site. You can download it on Steam. Jeff, I think you should at least check it out, but be careful with the content warnings.
Like, is it content warnings like graphic violence or graphic nudity?
Graphic violence.
Okay. I'm intrigued just by the level of your reaction. It's
more than that, really, but it's not nudity.
Okay.
I will say I finished my first run of it and have been too scared to start over.
Okay. I let you run way over a minute because I was just confused.
I'm confused.
Okay, Andrew, what do you want to recommend?
I'm just going to recommend this bicycle pedal thingy that you guys mentioned on the Slack.
The, what's it called? What is the type
the
of...
pedal thing that you put on the floor, but it has no wheel, so it's basically just the bicycle pedals.
Yeah, mini exercise bike?
Yeah, that thing. It works.
Did you get it after I posted that?
I didn't get that specific one. I just went to Walmart and bought the Gold's Gym one that they had.
Because I heard about it from hearing May from Lost in Translation recommend it in their equivalent of the same segment.
They're all the same, but the problem is, at certain tightness, they squeak a lot. So you can't really do this during podcasting.
Because I'm really intrigued by this idea, but I haven't actually gone and bought one myself.
Yeah, it just gives you something to do while you're sitting around doing nothing, which is what I do.
I'm really intrigued because I really wish I could bike to work, but it's really difficult with San Francisco hills and needing to own a bike. So this is really intriguing to me. Okay. I am going to recommend... I tend to not really recommend things that I'm trepidatious about, but this one's pretty trashy, and it's a new, currently airing anime. I mean, this episode probably won't go live for at least a month and a half, but hopefully it's still airing at that point. Called Juni Taisen.
Seriously, Jeff?
It's very trashy and pulpy, and it's the premise is that it's called Zodiac War, and it's basically a battle royale between 12 characters who are all representing Zodiac animals, a little bit too much for my taste, but they are all brutally murdering each other. But it's very well animated, and it's very pretty and just well made in a way that makes me feel like it's very, despite the content being very brutal, I find it very nice popcorn watching because it is very pretty and well executed and sounds good and everything.
And it's
exactly like the target audience of whatever Ash was trying to get you into.
Kind of, I guess.
And the thing about this, it's by the same guy who did the Monogatari series and a bunch of other things. And there's a light novel that's out that you can buy from some company.
And there's a manga that is free to read on some site I don't know anything about. That sounds like I'm advocating piracy. But anyway, it's hard to... It's on the Shonen Jump site, and I work for Shonen Jump. And
the rabbit is a psychotic murderer.
They all are. Well, anyway, I don't want to go more into it. It's fun to watch without... I don't know, just for the pure roller coaster and not much more. Maybe it'll have more eventually.
Ash, I'm posting a picture of Rabbit guy.
I closed Slack.
Oops.
It's basically a barely clothed guy with a giant pom-pom.
Cottontail.
This has been Padages 503, covering Digimon Data Squad episodes 12 through 18. What did you think about death in Digimon and permadeath, and walls being constructed between Digimon and humans, and our taste in we have Ashley's Taste of Merukimon, and
I really like him.
let us know what you thought in the comments at podages.com/503, or you can also send your thoughts to Podages on Twitter, Tumblr, or Facebook, or to our email, podages@gmail.com. You can leave a comment on the With the Will thread, have in the general discussion section of the forum, or the Our Digimon thread that we have for each episode. Or you can go on a reckless mission into the digital world to fight a Digimon who has barely shown any aggression and spark a controversial race war to let us know what you thought. Please don't start a race war. And also go to the site at podages.com/503 to vote on the Ridiculous Dialogue draft pick and to rate the episodes in this arc so we know how much you liked them, because it was a good arc. And Data Squad is the best, and Asher's wrong for putting it last place.
You can also answer our voicemail question if you want to be featured in the next feedback episode. Who had the best backstory and why? Submit your voicemail by emailing an audio recording of 90 seconds or less to podigious@gmail.com.
Special thanks to Extranomon for our Agumon logo for Season 5, and to our prodigious Patreon supporters who help make everything we do possible. Special thanks to our current champion Patramon, Diabjomon, the infamous Tokujo on Twitter, Dizzy Dizumi, at Dizzy and Lost on Twitter, Joe Keto, Kailunamon, and Sam Kuwagamon, who's on the Moncast, which compares Pokemon and Digimon. Our ultimate Patramon, Andy Lusamon, and David Graumon, and our mega Patramon, Marcus. We only assume that he likes to punch things.
And I forgot to mention that special thanks also should go to Dizzy Dizumi for helping us normalize the DigiFeud data. So
right.
I forget that now because he's been really helping out.
He's just that person who does that now.
Right, like it's just a normal part of our routine now. So yeah, it's really helpful because we need someone to normalize the data without it spoiling us since we're all potential contestants. And he's been really, really nice for helping out.
Finally made Jeff a contestant thanks to Dizzy Dizumi.
And if people want to follow us on Twitter, Ashley, where can they follow you and what you've been up to elsewhere on other podcasts?
On other podcasts, yes. I'm Ash McD00 on Twitter. My other podcast Twitter is at Shoujo and Tell without the U because I'm cool like that.
Because each character in a Twitter handle costs money. So
yeah, I know.
Ashley, where can people follow you if you exist on the internet?
Don't actually exist on the internet right now. My Tumblr queue is empty, but if you want to look at it and all my Final Fantasy 15 reblogs, it's Asher Dashery.
And Andrew is
Softman at Twitter.
I think it didn't come through, so I'll repeat it. Andrew is Drew Softman on Twitter, and I am definitely Jeff on Twitter. And I'm not fancy like Ashley with other podcasts, but I am occasionally on other manga-related podcasts, which you can find through there. And
Jeff, don't be jealous, okay?
Don't be
you
jealous.
Can start another podcast too.
Oh, is that what you want? And if you want to follow the podcast on social media, we are Podages on Twitter, Tumblr, or Facebook, where you can see the silly Digimon Frontier dub opening Animoji karaoke thing they did, which at this point will have been several weeks ago. And who knows, Animoji karaoke is probably be super played out by then.
Share the podcast with Marcus's dad, Merukimon, and don't share the podcast with friends who think Frigimoning female characters is okay.
And join us next week as we close out the Merukimon arc with Data Squad episodes 19 through 25. Bye.
Bye.
And remember, never stop Digimon. Maybe things will come up.
That was the grossest sound.
In contrary to what I just did, I guess that should be a reminder to mute your mic when making noises. No one else picked...
I gotta remember what my hotkeys are.
No one else picked the Falcomon? Can I hear the Falcomoner?
No, I don't
get
understand
that one.
reference.
The Falcon cannot hear the Falconer.
The center cannot hold.
What is that from?
I don't even know.
Poem? My God, you can just look up the center cannot hold.
Oh, wait, I actually
It's
did
a
quote the
Yeats
next
poem.
line. I didn't realize it was actually the next line. Oh, it's not the next line. There's a half a line in between. It's something
I
about
don't know why this became a thing in our English class, but it was...
Oh, was it just like a meme of our English class and not actually that?
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking that now it is.
I mean, I think it's generally I think the general concept it's referring to is like entropy and things growing out of control and the world falling apart. So it's like things spiraling out of control so much that the Falcon spirals away from the Falconer so much that they can't hear it anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I've heard the center cannot hold a lot more.
Yeah. Well, because this poem has to be semi-popular because, like, it was also referenced in the recent John Green book. Like, he talks about turning and turning in the winding gyre is also a popular line.
So it's like the turtles cannot hold the turtles all the way down. The turtles.
No, Jeffrey.
The turtles cannot hear the turtler.
No.
The memes cannot hear the memer.
I have heard the phrase, the center cannot hold. I do not believe I have ever read this poem.
Well, now you know.
Now we're
the more
educated.
you know, kids.
I should have that sound effect soundboard, the more you know noise.
It is enjoyable reading this poem being like, yep, everybody just quotes the first 3-ish lines. And like, that's all anybody knows.
The only important parts.
Yep.
Hold on one second. I need to listen.
Kel.
Huh?
Kel is spelled with one L.
I did not know how to spell Kel. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
No. So Neo Takuya and Neo Koji team up with Keenan's bird to inject them with an unlabeled needle from a random fridge in an upside-down man.
Ashley?
Breaking down.
We're doing great today, guys.
You only realized it was absurd halfway through the sentence.
What? I was like, the sentence is hard to read, and I just can't keep it together anymore. Okay, let's try. Yoshino and Keenan come down with the not Takuya or Koji virus, so Neo Takuya and Neo Koji team up with Keenan's bird to inject them with an unlabeled... No, I can't.
It's your version to needles.
What? I don't know why it's funny to me.
Do you want to switch, Ashley?
Is yours not funny?
I don't think so.
The thing is, I don't think Ash gets any of the jokes in his.
I probably don't.
I mean, I know that Your Lie in April has someone that plays piano in it.
I thought she played the violin.
The girl plays piano.
Maybe.
The main guy plays. Wait, so the girl plays violin. The main guy plays piano and has traumatic piano memories.
I'm sorry, but first entire minute of you speaking there was completely unintelligible.
Oh, really?
You can do them without speeding up the way you talk. We talked about this.
Oh, we mean it was hard. It wasn't because of the internet. It was because of just the words.
You're talking too fast.
Because of you.
Oh. Okay. I'll start over then. I'll start over then.
Do you want me to not care about the order? Why would you ask this question?
Because you put your topic second first.
I like going second.
Okay, then cool. Okay.
I'm the on this podcast. If we have to talk about inferiority complexes, Andrew and I are the ones with the inferiority complexes, and you and Ash are like, yeah, we're cool.
No.
Yes.
Why am I being lumped with Ashley?
I talk too much, and people don't chime in because they don't care what I'm saying, and then I feel bad.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
No, it's a joke.
I mean, yeah, I don't feel inferior.
Yes, Ash is like, I'm the best.
Well, it's just I'm tired of feeling insecure all the time. It's just I don't care anymore.
Oh, cool. Hold on, let me stretch. Okay.
Fighting time again! Then it's fighting time! It's fighting time again! It's fighting time! It's fighting time! It's fighting time!
I hate you.
And now it's eating time!
Why was there dramatic music happening in the background?
Because that scene is actually when it's the opening of the episode is just Marcus eating ramen or something, but then while he's eating ramen is when Yoshi runs by undercover.
Yeah.
And so it's why is she running by?
My God, Digimon. Okay.
It's just a reminder of the other frustrating Yoshi episode. This Yoshi episode was less frustrating than that one, I feel, but yeah.
This one was at least all right, she got
some
a
agency.
Digimon. Yeah, she did a thing.
Yeah.
Cool.